welcome back to All the Crackers in the Box. Hi, it's me, your friend Corey, and we have this guy to try to put together. Whole lot of drama. I know you're seeing some interesting pieces besides all the pieces I need to put on him. I went through my sewing stuff, sorry. Bag was trying to attack us. And I found an old book of needles. Canada. Isn't that cute? Oh yeah, and I found these. So this is Arrow handy needle assortment. We have a pile needle, two wool darners, embroidery, Chanel, and quilting. Really old. I'm not even sure how old that is. Knitting pins and needles. These ones aren't in the best shape, but I thought the packaging looked pretty old and very interesting. Like this one's right rusted out, and that one's pretty sharp. Nice looking. Definitely don't need that one today. Something like this would probably work. That's pretty nice. I'll keep that in mind. Anyways, we're looking for a needle. Something a little bit thicker than my sewing ones that can handle these threads like this. My regular ones are just a touch too big. Sorry, I'm going to move these. And wait till you see what's in there. Anyways, I'm glad you're here. Let's get going. Okay, so I've got this nice pearl one here. We got this one that's got a nice long tip on it, super shiny. So I do have a few options here. That's a little small, I think. This one's got the tipped end. I'm not so sure any of these are gonna do. This might work. But I do have my small one there, so we're gonna try this. This one here that I liked. Okay, so it was this one here. That was really long though. I might not be able to use that. I think I need something a bit shorter. Something that long might be a little tricky. Pop you back in there. Okay, so that one might be a touch longer than I need. That one is a bit small. So we'll take a look at this one here. But I feel like it's going to be too small to get that through. And that is the problem here. I'm just seeing what I have to work with. I might be stuck with that one. Let's try the smallest one out of here. Because I didn't know where these were the other day. Well, I did, but I didn't go grab them. Let's see. So yeah, that goes through just fine. That goes through. And of course, this being a lace weight, it's going to go through. So this one's accommodatable for all of them. Okay, so we're going to use that one. Alright, well, I went through and grabbed those for nothing. That's okay. That's okay. The drawer is 2 feet away from me. It's not that big of a deal. Anyway, so we're going to use that one. Now these are phenomenal. And I realize my camera has shifted. Hold one moment, please. Okay, sorry if you didn't see very well there for a few minutes. You didn't really miss anything. I was just looking at needle lengths, and those other ones were like that long, which is too long, where this one is a little bit shorter, a little bit smaller. This here is phenomenal. This apparently belonged to my great grandmother. Aren't these beautiful? And I've seen somebody recently talking on an amigurumi channel, and she was saying that something like this is really good for pinning, especially being that it will help hold your piece where you want it. So that's pretty good. I'm not sure which one is going with what. Let me look at that. No, I think this one goes here. This looks to be about right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin it. I'm going to be very careful. Let's get a little air in there. There we go. These are quite long. That might be a very good thing. So we're going to go like that. I'm going to make sure that this piece stays up here, because when I tried it last time, that piece definitely got away from me. Alright, so let's be very careful with these sharp. Sharp. Gonna need my needle here. And I'm going to have to get this to go through. So let's just be very careful on how we do this. Alright, I see that I'm off camera again. So no, I do not know where these pins came from. Well, maybe. Swan brand pearl pins, 2-inch white, 1GR, made in Japan. So I don't know, they're in a very fancy little box here. Not like crazy pretty pin, but it's like a good thick box, well made. It looks like it's the original box. I'm just gonna close that up. But yeah, apparently those were my great-grandmother's. I'm a little iffy on that. I don't know. My mom says it is, but I'm looking at the 50 cents on there saying, kind of looks like it came from a garage sale, but that's cool. Either way, it's cool. I'm fine with both. Let's just get you a little anchor spot. We want to anchor this piece. Make it look real good. I'm going to anchor with that one too. And we're going to stitch around. So he is definitely going to be taking the longest to do because he is the smallest. I think Sandy already has been slightly put together, just a little bit of her, and that was absolutely really difficult, to be honest. Just crazy difficult. I'm actually quite astounded how much finagling that took. It took a lot longer than I was wanting or accommodated for. So that was a little frustrating. The instructions seem pretty straightforward. And it just got a little bit sideways. It just was not working the way it said it was going to. Or I was doing it wrong. Whatever. Like, there's a whole lot of stuff. Like, it was pretty... Basically comes down to this big round cylinder shape of her body needed a plastic container of some sort to go in there. So I had to find one, and then the one I found was slightly not the right size, if you know what I mean, and so I had to cut it, and I broke scissors doing it. It was a whole thing, and it just kept on being a little finicky where I was putting it. So yeah, that was a lot of extra that I wasn't accommodating for time-wise. So it's taking me out of my time a little. Okay. And then this one for this end, then I should be able to just stitch across and it'll be fine. But I will probably be using these pins in particular for my amigurumis, because they look like they would definitely be easy to not lose inside of a piece. Like I almost did there with the creepy nurse. I put one in there just to hold the piece together, one of these ones, and yeah, I pretty much lost it. It was pretty gone. But I found it. So I'm just gonna cut that. And we're gonna cut that. Okay. I'm gonna add that to my scrap pile over there. Alright, back to work. Gotta work faster though. Running low on time. Running low on time. My goodness. Keep thinking you're seeing everything and I look up and you're not. Sorry. Alrighty, now we're going to I will probably have to get more. I don't think I cut off enough to do this. But I might have. So I'm not stuffing the arms on this one. I think it's better without the stuffing for this one in particular. Just because it's easier to shape the tentacle. Because once this is attached properly, I'll be able to give it that curled look with just pinching it a few times into place, kind of like you do with pet ears when you're making amigurumis, because a lot of times you don't want to stuff them, so you can actually shape them. Come on out. All right, beautiful. Now we're gonna go over here and see. The last time I did this, I ended up like a little bit off of this area, and you can't do that because if you look at the feet. And the feet were not made the same. The feet, you started with the feet, with the purple, and then went into the green. Lavender, I do declare. Okay. Coming through, I don't want to break through. I want to come right through the stitch. Thank you. Thank you kindly. We're going to go right in to here. I'm going to be very gentle. I don't want to poke myself with the pins. I think it's kind of funny that my pins are sharp and my needle's fairly dull. Okay, just gonna try to wiggle through. I think, no, I can't take that one out yet, but I can move it down a little. I was about to take it out, but I remember it's there to hold this corner in mostly, because this corner here pops over and will lose its spot. Because that's what happened the last time I attempted this. Pull that nice. And this is going amazing. Pinning is really making the difference. Oh, that's actually making this a lot less stressful. Getting this through here, still a little bit iffy. But what are you gonna do, right? And come on through. Up. Alright. Oh my goodness. Wow. That one took a little bit of finagling there. But that just means the stitches are nice. And exactly what I was looking for. Alrighty, and now we're going to pull through here. Alrighty, and up to there. Alright, so I'm going to actually pull this one out. We're going to pop this back in this nice little box here. Super vintage, super awesome. I'm really excited that I happened to find these. I have an amazing use. And look at the length on these guys. Okay, I'm pretty sure these are like for hats or something. I'm not sure. They were in the sewing stuff and they're working wonderfully. So I'm really happy that I happened to pick that up and look inside on my search for a needle that would be more conducive to making this, which I already had out of my own stuff, so either way. One thing came out with something else. No problem. I'll say that's pretty lucky. Because I have some dollar store pins that have ends on them, like big colored ends. My husband is very nervous about pins and needles. He got one between two of his toes when he was a little guy. And it's right traumatized him. He always says something. If he sees anybody with a needle, you better be careful. I got one between my toes and nobody believed me. Like, it was terrible. It was a massive accident. Like, nobody did it on purpose. I guess some fell on the floor and he happened to get it, went right between his toes, like in all the way. You couldn't even see where they went in. It was a big thing with him and his mom. But either way, I'm careful. I've heard that story a million times and it sounds painful and uncomfortable. So I definitely don't want anyone going through that sort of thing. Almost there. Almost there. Okay, well, I'm going to finish this up in my own time, and I might come back and show you a little bit more when I get to other pieces. Anyways, thanks for joining me here at All the Crackers in the Box, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!